There will never be a second Shohei Ohtani.
The ones saying this aren't haters or careless outsiders. In fact, experts are the ones starting to admit it themselves. There may never be another one like him. A man who was supposed to redefine what's possible in baseball has, before anyone realized it, become someone absolutely no one can replicate. So, what exactly is the reason they all agree on? Why will there never be another two-way player? Let's dive into the answer.
Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe.
The shocking conclusion experts have reached.
Major Japanese media outlets have finally started using language that goes even further. Recreating a two-way player is nearly physically impossible. This isn't some wild take from a few commentators anymore. MLB data, insider testimony from teams, and the latest scientific analysis are all pointing in the same direction. At the end of last season, Shohei Ohtani stunned both players and fans alike. In his very first at-bat of the championship series, he launched a ball that disappeared beyond the stadium. It caused such a frenzy that TV networks cut into their broadcasts with breaking news alerts, and commentators were left speechless, literally standing in silence, unable to process what they were witnessing. Japanese sports magazines even ran cover stories titled, "The Man Who Rewrites History." And on social media, the debate reignited once again. Who will be the next two-way player? But that debate took an unexpected turn. Sports Illustrated analyzed just how difficult it is to sustain a two-way role in today's MLB, incorporating interviews with team trainers and data analysts, and reached a striking conclusion. One coach, choosing his words carefully, admitted, "Modern pitchers are throwing an average of 95+ miles per hour. Breaking balls demand elite spin rates. Hitters are expected to produce exit velocities over 110 miles per hour. Even one of those pushes the human body to its limit. Doing both? It's practically impossible by design. The workload of a pitcher, the preparation of a hitter, and a grueling 162-game season. Trying to sustain all of that at once breaks down even the basic equations of recovery, including sleep and calorie intake." One trainer, lowering his eyes during an interview, put it this way: "Shohei Ohtani exists in a physiological contradiction. His daily routine only works because it's essentially the equivalent of 2 full days for a normal player." This testimony is no exaggeration. What MLB insiders all agree on is this: being a two-way player isn't a matter of stamina, it's a matter of time. The time required to train as a pitcher and the time needed to prepare as a hitter inevitably clash. You have to cut one or the other. Cut it, and your performance drops. Once performance drops, you don't play. That's why, at a fundamental level, the two-way path is impossible. And the name the media always brings up as an example is Jack Caglianone of the Kansas City Royals. Known as Jack Caglianone, he was a phenomenon in college. Throwing 100 miles per hour on the mound while crushing over 30 home runs at the plate, drawing nationwide attention, he was selected early in the draft, and the organization even declared they would develop him as a two-way player. But once he entered the pros, his pitching data began to decline. As he pushed through the demanding minor league schedule, both his velocity and stamina clearly started to fall below his college levels. But what caught reporters' attention wasn't just the limits of physical ability. They pointed out that the real reason a two-way player doesn't emerge runs much deeper. One team analyst, when asked why so many young players who aimed to be two-way end up giving up one path, answered bluntly, "It's not a skill issue, it's a lifestyle issue." Shohei Ohtani sleeps 12 hours a day, follows a perfectly controlled diet, and gives up hobbies and entertainment to devote everything to baseball. How many young players can truly replicate that life? The answer is almost zero. There's a massive gap between dreaming of becoming the next Ohtani and actually replicating the life he lives every single day. The Athletic dug even deeper on this point. Quoting an anonymous scout, they wrote, "You might find players with physical tools close to Ohtani. Not many, but not zero. But players willing to dedicate every aspect of their daily lives to baseball like he does? Statistically, they don't exist." What's emphasized here is that this isn't about talent. It's about mindset, how you choose to live your life, and whether you can dedicate every part of it to the game. That, they say, is the true dividing line for succeeding as a two-way player. Now, everything connects. Advanced data analysis, insider voices from MLB teams, and first-hand accounts from player development, all pointing to the same conclusion. It's not that there isn't enough talent. It's that no one can replicate the life of Shohei Ohtani. MLB has even created roster flexibility for two-way players, and more young athletes than ever are chasing number 17. Yet in reality, every single one of them, except one, comes to a halt. That strange reality is exactly why the media calls it physically impossible. And that leads experts to one final question. Why is Shohei Ohtani the only one who can actually make it work?
The core of two-way greatness, revealed by a legend.
Right after U.S. media concluded that being a two-way player is physically impossible, the ones who nodded most were the legends, who actually lived the game. Rather than simply praising Shohei Ohtani's talent, they began answering a different question: why no one else can sustain it, drawing from their own experience. The first to speak bluntly was 251-game winner CC Sabathia. Invited onto a New York media show, he leaned back, his large frame shifting as he said, "So, people are finally starting to realize it, huh? I've been saying this forever. Don't use Ohtani as a blueprint. He's not real. He's from a fantasy world." At that moment, the entire mood in the room changed. What he really wanted to highlight was the structural evolution of modern baseball. Unlike the past, pitchers now come out throwing 100 miles per hour from the very first inning, and hitters have become pure muscle, built to send those fastballs into the stands. Reflecting on that shift, CC Sabathia continued, "Today's MLB is like running a sprint over the distance of a marathon. Your body is already screaming just doing one job. Doing both? That's beyond what a human is built for." Then came another voice, Yankees icon Derek Jeter, who pointed to something deeper, the mental side. Speaking calmly, but with intensity in his eyes, he addressed the audience. "Everyone wants to talk about the physical side, but to me, that's not the core of it. Shohei doesn't carry the frustration from pitching into his at-bats, and he doesn't bring failure from the batter's box onto the mound. Do you understand how abnormal that is?" Then David Ortiz, one of the greatest symbols of hitting, explained Ohtani's uniqueness from the perspective of rhythm. With a smile, but a serious look in his eyes, he said, "Pitching and hitting are like oil and water. You go all out with adrenaline on the mound, and then minutes later you're supposed to be calm in the batter's box? Man, I'd panic. For most people, it's just impossible." And then Ortiz captured what he believes is Ohtani's true essence. The most incredible thing about Shohei is that, even in the toughest moments, he stays like a kid. He doesn't see being a two-way player as suffering. He truly loves pitching, hitting. He loves baseball itself. That's why neither his body nor his mind breaks. Those words weren't just from a legend. They revealed that the ability to enjoy the game may be the true core of being a two-way player. On the other hand, Clayton Kershaw, who has worn the same uniform as Shohei Ohtani, spoke with a serious expression. You can't understand it just by watching someone pitch and hit. Shohei's true greatness is in his daily preparation. He gets to the stadium early, works in silence, and never once looks tired. And he's been doing that for years. Kershaw went on to add, with a grounded, realistic perspective, there might be a few players who can do both, but there's no one else who can sustain both at Shohei's level. The amount of preparation he puts in is beyond common sense. If a normal player tried to copy that, they'd break down in 3 days. When you line up all of these testimonies, only one answer emerges. Shohei Ohtani isn't just the only player who made two-way baseball work. He redefined what the idea of a two-way player even means. Why hasn't a second two-way player emerged? Legends all point to the same answer. It's not a gap in talent. It's a fundamental difference in how one lives. This is the wall every challenger faces. What the legends described about the impossibility of being a two-way player is no exaggeration, and nothing proves that more than the players who have tried to follow in Shohei Ohtani's footsteps. They admire the two-way dream more than anyone. They chase it with everything they have. And yet, before they know it, they find themselves stopped by the wall of professional baseball, or forced to choose a different path. In other words, even as the number of challengers continues to grow, there is still only one player who has fully realized the two-way form. Shohei Ohtani alone.
Thanks for watching all the way through. What did you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to follow Shohei Ohtani's incredible journey. See you in